guys, welcome back. So what we're looking at today is lesson 15, equivalent exponential expressions. Let's go ahead and jump right in. All right, so what's the value? Evaluate each expression for the given value of x. So 3x squared when x is 10. So what that means is we're substituting in 10 in place of the x. So now we have 3 times 10 squared. So first we take care of the squared, the exponent. So 10 squared is 100. So we have 3 times 100, which is 300. So the answer here is 300. All right, what about 3x squared when x is 1/9? So same idea, we plug that 1/9 in there, square it. Now remember, when we square a fraction, or take any fraction to an exponent, we do both the numerator and the denominator. So 1 squared is just 1. 9 squared is 81. And we multiply these. So we're going to end up with 3 over 81. Because remember, we just multiply the whole number to the numerator. And then we can simplify this. So 81 divided by 3 is 27. So we end up with 1/27. All right, the next one, number 3, we have x to the third divided by 4. So we're going to take, x to the third divided by 4 when x is 4. So that means we have 4 to the third over 4 to the first. So anytime we have a whole number, it's just to the first power. So when we have things like this, the exponents subtract when we're dividing like this. So 3 minus 1 is 2, so this is really 4 squared, which is 16. All right, so here we have when x is 1/2. So we're going to have, 1/2 to the third over 4. Well, we know 1/2 to the third is going to be 1/8. That's supposed to be an 8. Hang on. 1/8 divided by 4. We use same times flip. So 1/8 times 1 over 4, which will give us 1/32. All right, our next one. So these have all been dealing with multiplication and division. Now we're looking at adding. So we have 9 plus x to the 7th when x is 1. So 9 plus 1 to the 7th power. Well, 1 to any power, does not matter what the power is always just going to be 1, because 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1, infinitely many, is always just going to still be 1. So we just have 9 plus 1, which equals 10. Now here we have 9 plus 1/2 to the 7th. So now we have to figure out what 2 to the 7th power is. So this is 9 plus 1 over some value. So 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32, times 2 is 64, that's 6, times 2 is 128, which is 7 times that we multiplied that 2. So this just equals 9 and 1, 128. 9 and 1, 128. So notice on the ones where our variable is a fraction, we end up with a fraction in our answer. When it's a whole number, we end up with a whole number. So evaluate is your key word for this lesson. Evaluate. All right, exponent experimentation. Find a solution to each equation in the list that follows. The numbers in the list may be a solution to more than one equation, and not all numbers in the list will be used. So here we have 64 equals x squared. So what times itself is going to give us 64? Well, that would be 8. The next one, what times itself 3 times gives us 64? Well, if we know that twice is 8, 3 times isn't going to be 8, it's going to be 4, because 4 times 4 is 16, times another 4 is 64. All right, 2 to what power equals 32? Well, 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16, times 2 is 32. So how many 2's do we have there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our answer here is 5 for x. All right, here we're taking it to the third power, so 2 to the third is 8. 5 to the third is 125, which is in our list. So far, all of them have been in our list. All right, our next one. So here we want to find what do we have to square to get to 16 over 9. So what number times itself gives us 16? Well, that would be 4. What number times itself gives us 9? That would be 3. So our answer is 4/3. All right, here we have 2 times 2 to the 5th equals 2 to the what? Well, when we multiply base numbers together, this is just saying we already have 5 here. Here's another one we're adding, so it's going to be 6. That'd be 2 to the 6th would be the same thing. All right, here we have 2x equals 2 to the 4th. So we can think about this as 2x equals 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. We divide away the 2, divide by 2. So it's going to cancel out one of the 2's here. So we have x equals 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8, or 2 to the 3rd. And the last one, 4 to the 3rd equals 8 to the what? Well, here we saw that 4 to the 3rd was 64, and 8 to the 2nd was 64, so this would be 8 to the 2nd. So it's all about being able to understand what our exponents are and being able to evaluate them and find these different values of x depending on where the x is. Obviously, we saw where the x was in the exponent we were trying to solve, where the x is what's being squared, and so we have to figure out what we squared to get that answer. All sorts of different things here, but really understanding what it means to use these exponents and evaluate, okay? All right, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Have a great day. Bye, guys.